about the updates, what we're focused on this week. And despite the fact that, outside the world was kind of, and I'm air quoting, burning down here, we really didn't even talk about the market conditions until towards the end of the meeting. And it was only just about one of those how about eBay? And right now it's just, we're still focused on building the project. It's that's what this is all about. It doesn't really matter what ETH is sitting at, if it's 2,500 or 5,000 or whatever in between. The goal is to be building this out. I want to welcome everybody here to our Moon Monday community hangout. Of course, we will be doing a giveaway, kind of like we always do on these Moon Mondays. So if you go to the top, and I think if you swipe left, you'll see the post. And as usual, just give it a retweet and be in the spaces when we announce it towards the end. We're going to give away a laser eye today because why not, right? One of my favorite traits on the Star Wars, and just a good NFT kind of cliche, if you want to call it that. The other thing that I have pinned up on the top is, of course, our Moon Monday announcement. And there's lots to dig into here. Free Market, are you ready to get into it?
I'm totally ready to get into it. And boy, the mauve, I feel like it's an underrated color. Am I saying that right? Mauve?
Oh, you got it right. Yeah, mauve.
Mauve, yeah. Mauve on, baby. Let's do it.
Let's move on. All right. Yeah, perfect. So let's start with the minor announcements that got posted in the Discord a couple of hours ago. Really big announcement that we're super excited for. I don't know if he's in the audience right now, but Luca has joined the Star Wars team, and he is going to have the incredible responsibility of starting to port over the Discord games that were already in existence into the game that will be online in the Web3 setting. And that's, really important because we've been up here saying it from the onset. These games carry weight. These games are actually the beta testing for the Star Wars game that we are releasing, that we're building, that we're growing. So he's going to be tasked with putting it up on there. And, we have full confidence in his ability to do that. And we're really, really excited to welcome Luca to the team. So congratulations, Luca. And we look forward to working with you over the next few months or, indefinitely, really, hopefully. On that note, it will also it should also be said that because we are starting to port this stuff over, we will be taking a snapshot of the rankings, the XP that's been gained, all of that stuff pretty soon. We'll be a little bit more transparent, closer to it. But I will say the time is coming. So if you are trying to get some, the last few levels in there on the Discord games and whatnot, now is the time to do it. And, it doesn't feel like there's much else other than number go down right now in the market. So you might as well hop in there and keep participating in the boss fights, the solo quests, PvP battles, the battle royales, all of that stuff is still going to have some weight. So we're really excited for that to be making its way into the online game.
Yeah, and there's a reason we're taking that snapshot, and that's kind of what the crux of our Moon Monday announcement is about. And this is something that we are super excited to do, as it's been a debate within the team, and I think within the larger play and own niche within the NFT market about staking. And we think we found a really good balance here. And that's going to be with our pregame dashboard, which is very close to launching. It's going to be with soft staking, as we call it. And obviously you need to own wolves to be eligible, and they can't leave your wallet. So as you log on to this dashboard, you are going to, the amount of time that your wolves are in your wallet is basically your staking. So you can't move them to a different wallet. You can't sell them. And that's essentially staking without making you having to pay a gas fee.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, on that dashboard, as Free Market said, there's going to be kind of timers that are showing how long you've had the wolf in your wallet for. And we can tell you that the longer you have it in your wallet for, the more beneficial it will be. And on that dashboard, when the time comes, you're going to want to be logging in there every day. There's going to be some daily tasks. There's going to be some weekly tasks for you to do. Again, and that will be kind of the first component that will start to earn you stuff for your use in the Star Wolves game. Also, just gonna throw a little bit of a hint out there that there might be some chest drops involved too with earning some of these resources and positives for the game. I know chests have been a very, very exciting part of the Ether Orcs game that's been out and being played a lot right now.
Oh man, I mean, and this is honestly a huge part of, I guess, what you would call trad gaming or traditional gaming now. Did it start with FIFA soccer, if I'm not mistaken? The idea of these loot boxes that have valuable items in the game that give you utility, or especially in the case of NFTs or play and own, have an actual value. And Ether Orcs, having just rolled out their dungeon crawls, which have been so fun to play and so addicting, the idea is you are, instead of burning your Zug and your utility items to gain new characters, you're doing it to gain items that give you utility. And it's so fun to get these treasure chests and open them and almost see the slot machine-like process in which you gain these rare items. And I could just tell you, as a trader, as a degen, as whatever you want to call it, clicking open on that thing and seeing the wheel spin and which item you're going to get, it's addictive. It's fun. These chests, these loot boxes, I think they're such a fun and crucial part of any gaming economy, and we are just super happy to roll those out and get some to you.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if these people. That's actually a really good question. Do you know that for sure, or was that kind of...
I've been in a few gaming discussions, and that was what I heard. I've never done my own research. So maybe if somebody, and again, anybody down there is welcome to come up, talk about Star Wolves, the market, your day, whatever you want to talk about. But if you down there in the audience know the origin of loot box, I'll tell you why it's so interesting to me, especially in relation to NFTs, because from what I understand, and again, I'm getting this secondhand, but it was in an Orcs community space was the first time. And then the second time it was a space that was just about play and own gaming. But they said the gamers actually resisted these initially. And I don't remember if it was because it was like perceived as gambling or a waste of money. I don't remember exactly what the controversy was, but just the way that almost NFTs are controversial within traditional gaming, these loot boxes originally were kind of scorned, or the community was averse to them. Then it became like an amazingly crucial part of the gaming economy, which is super interesting to me because that feels like how we think NFTs are going to go. So I thought I heard that it was a FIFA soccer thing, and now we have Zero X Frosty on the stage. I'm hoping he's a gamer and could maybe give us some clarification there. If not, welcome to the stage, Zero X Frosty. How you doing today?
Welcome.
Thank you, FMC. I don't know if it was exactly FIFA, but I do remember when the packs came out, and I can tell you that people were mad about it because, you pay $60 for a game, and then they're like, but we want you to spend $100 to maybe get a good player. And in the beginning of all that, it was just, spending more money on something you already spent money on. And when people ask you for more money after you've already given it to them, they become reluctant. But as the space developed and, then Madden added it, and they resisted for a while, and MLB added it. And now, pretty much everything has some kind of not pay to win. These are pay to win in some cases, but it just, adds a new element, and it gets people hooked on, spending more money, trying to get the better players, better cards, better items, and so I'm pretty sure FIFA was first, but I'm gonna look and see if I can find that.
I've actually been doing some quick research while we're having the conversation too, and there is some conflicting views about what was technically the first one, but I think
sounds like NFTs again.
yeah, exactly. It all comes full circle, doesn't it? No, so okay, so the believed first one would have been in the Japanese version of Maple Story back in 2004.
I've heard of that game.
Yeah, there was maybe a little bit of controversy,
Raid
very
Party.
short-lived, around Raid Party in Maple Story, but it is looking like the Japanese one might have been the first one, and in North America, slightly before, but around the same time as FIFA, was actually Team Fortress 2 at the end of 2010. That one of the first games to incorporate loot boxes as well. So it sounds like a bunch of these games and whatnot we're working on it or implementing it around the same time as well. Of course, it really did start with some mobile gaming. I think Zynga was one of the ones that were, as I'm reading, kind of popularized it in there, but a much different business model in terms of the mobile gaming. So I think you're pretty much spot on with the FIFA within give or take a few months, really.
Yeah, and that's super awesome. And I think Zero X Frosty really nailed it on the head about kind of also, and it's so cool that we're talking about our dashboard and our soft staking today, why we've been averse to doing what traditional, it's funny you can even say that now since it's like 6 months old, but traditional online gaming with their staking mechanisms. And don't get me wrong, I love the games that I stake, but with Star Wars, we're really trying to think big. We're trying to think like, how do you penetrate the mass market? And yes, I think there's always going to be more costs associated with play and own, but if the perceived benefits are you actually own what's in your loot box, and if you ever wanted to either trade it for something else, sell it on an open market, whatever you wanted to do with it, you had that ability. I think it's going to strike, like we said, that really, really fine balance. So that's exactly it. And I really appreciate that input, Zero X Frosty. I see Moody, my man Moody Marv on stage. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing great. I came up on stage. Thank you so much for having me up. But I wanted to jump in because you guys were talking about loot boxes. And I personally, like, when in 2005 I was 10 years old and I was playing Maple Story heavily. So when you guys brought that up, it just brought so many memories. And I started to think about, my time playing video games, and Maple Story was really the first, like, loot box that I really spent money on because, I was, like, 15 years old, 13 years old playing, Maple Story for free, and that I think that incentivized me to want to go and spend money on a free game. So it's a very interesting conversation that, you guys were having, and I'm sorry that I know we've moved on, but, the idea that, like, you pay $60 for a game, everything should be included. But then you have games like Maple Story, or even the current example of Fortnite, where it's a free-to-play game, and now people are spending hundreds or thousands of dollars on this free game for, an upper hand or a cool costume. But super excited, though. I love... I can't wait to start playing it. Play some.
Love it, but thank you, man. And yeah, I mean, that's such a great point. Like, the big thing to me, and I think it actually started with Apple, if I'm not mistaken, and the App Store, right? Like, the freemium, I guess it was called, model. This idea that you would maybe download a game for free, but spend money on the in-game items, so to say. So it almost became that, and in a lot of ways, that's how something like music worked, right? We stopped almost paying for albums. We would just get the music for free, and then you would spend money in other ways to support the artist, that type of thing. So really, really interesting stuff, and such a good conversation. I think that's why it's so important how we market and present play and own. It's why I really try not to use P2E as a term anymore, because I think it really does us a disservice. And it's hard because it's such a good little moniker, like P2E or whatever, and it's very like easy to market. But I just think play and own makes a lot more sense. And how we're showing what traditional gaming does is the reason I think so. And I'd love to welcome the homie New Notes to the stage. New Notes, welcome. How you doing today, bud?
Hello, it's FMC. I saw you talking, so I just had to join and say hello. I got a bit of a question. So, I'm all over the place, I'm balancing uni, a job, NFTs, all of that, and I haven't really kept up with Star Wars. I have mine tucked away in my wallet. How does someone like me, who's struggling to keep up with just about everything in the world, keep up to date? Like, how do I, like, I see the games getting ready. What am I looking out for? Like, what's the next couple of things that I'm gonna see?
So
Just a question.
I would say that the thing that we were talking about, I don't know if you were here earlier, but the dashboard, which is coming up. So you know that when people ask about like when is the game launching, it's already launched, because what you're doing in the Discord is immediately going to translate into your stats within the game. And we are going to take a snapshot, and we're going to be transparent as we get closer to when we are doing it. But the countdown is on. We are going to take a snapshot, and then we are going to launch our dashboard. So you have your wolves tucked away in your wallet, which is nice. It's where we can go look at them. But with all of these games, one of the most fun parts is going to your dashboard and just looking at your collection. It's where you organize your wolves. You're able to see stats. And with the way that we're doing staking, which is called soft staking, it's going to be about when you've logged in and now your wallet is connected, so it knows your wolves are there. From that moment on, your wolves are being timed, how long they're in your wallet. It will unlock certain benefits, certain levels, and moving them from your wallet resets the staking. So this is a way for them to be staked without you paying the gas. And we're just trying. Of course, there are going to be moments where game actions cost something. We want it to be very clear that those are going to be valuable for you, that it's going to be a positive EV cost. And we thought that staking this way was a great way to start. But that would be the thing I would be looking forward to most immediately on the horizon. And of course, keep up to date with the star signal. If you were going to put any room on alerts, if you were trying, obviously, like you said, you're very busy. Keep a watch on the star signals and on the Twitter account, where we'll put most major announcements, and hopefully you'll be very up to date. Of course, we have these 2 weekly spaces if you can make it as well.
Awesome,
Yeah,
thank you, man. Oh, sorry.
sorry.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you. Yeah, it's so hard to keep up with everything, and like I love the project. It's just like there's so many projects I love. It's just like crazy keeping up. And yeah, FMC, your like almost minutely tweets keep me going. So keep them coming.
I've noticed I have a higher rate of tweets during downtrends. I have to examine why that is myself, but you're right. It's been a lot. So.
I do think he tweets out the Kermit sipping tea at least once a day when things are going down as well. So, thanks so much, Nuno. The other thing I would like to actually say is, if you pop into the Discord, I just once, on a 24-hour cadence, and hop into the minor updates too. We do update that every single day with, it's not always game breaking stuff, but it's just kind of like an accountability channel where we just say hey, look, we are working on stuff. This is the stuff that we've been doing. We had a team meeting. We had a developer scrum. We've been working on this thing for the back end. We've been working on this artwork. It's a little more in depth for people that are really following along. But if you just had to click on the Star Wolves Discord once a day, you'd get some good information there as well. And of course, as FMC said, once that dashboard is up, I think that's going to be your go-to spot there. I also I know there's a big backtrack on the conversation, but I also just wanted to mention about the loot boxes and stuff because it was such a great conversation. One of the things that I think is really cool about incorporating them into the play and own model, like we're doing, and like a lot of these other games are looking at doing too, is, in the traditional gaming, it might be a $60 FIFA game that you have to kind of infuse more money into to open these up. Or, as was mentioned, like a Fortnite game where it is free, but if you want some of these extra cosmetic items and whatnot, you do have to spend some extra money. What's cool with these is that you can actually use them as a burn mechanism for the native token that you are earning. So while it might consider to have some value, you can kind of infuse what you would have been earning into it and not have to inject any extra capital into it as well. just because you've held your wolves, just because they have been there, just because they have been earning tokens, and now you can open up those loot boxes and have access to extra assets that you would, of course, own, and that's why we love the term play and own. So I thought that was a wonderful discussion, and that was a great question, and I appreciate you coming up here and asking that. I'm just checking through the announcements. I'm actually just going to take the time to bring Catfish up on stage too, because we wanted to do a little bit of a community spotlight on these Moon Mondays. They are community spaces, and just talk to some of the the Genesis Wolves, some of the prominent people in the Discord, and just hang out with them. And I thought one day after Mother's Day, what better person to invite up on stage than the Mother Wolf himself, Catfish. So I'm going to get you set up there. Catfish, how are you doing today? Thanks for joining.
Hey, thanks for having me. First off, oh, good to be here.
I love it.
Good to be here. Good to be here. Just to talk to
Your turn, R2.
It's been a good weekend. I'm excited for that Blue Monday announcement was great. Just hanging out here. It's a beautiful day out in Toronto. So sitting out in the patio having a beer and just listening to you guys.
Oh, you and R2 are neighbors?
I forgot you're in Toronto. That's right.
Yeah. R2, you're over here?
I am slightly west of you. Yeah, not very far.
Okay.
Oh, look at this meet cute. Are you guys going to go get beers and poutine?
I would like that very much.
Butt,
That sounds like a great day.
Rip some poutine with the old Catfish there, right? Before we get into the conversation with Catfish, I do just also want to just wrap up kind of the Moon Monday announcement thing, saying or talk about just the beta testers. Just as a reminder for the Genesis holders, one of the perks of being a Genesis holder will be access to beta testing, and we want as many Genesis holders to be in there testing the dashboard when the time comes. But it is also not limited to the Genesis holders. We are going to be extending invitations to not only our top holders in terms of the quantity of wolves that they have, although they will definitely be in the running. But if you've been a really active, great member of our community, being in the Discord, chatting up, being helpful, participating, and just having a great time, we will be extending some invitations out as well. And, if that would be something that you would be interested in, a little nudge never really hurts. So, as always, we're always hanging out in the Discord, chatting away and whatnot. So if you have any intentions of that, maybe there will be an opportunity for you as well. If not, I promise you the beta testing won't last too long, so you won't be sitting on the sidelines for an indefinite period of time, gaining some kind of disadvantage or anything like that. But again, just so you guys know, we will be kind of on the lookout for that coming up pretty soon. So that is very excited, and I'm very excited to see if you guys can break stuff so that we know that we've made it and can fix it properly before it goes live. On that note, Catfish, proud owner of Star Wolf Genesis Wolf number 51, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah, 51. The Mother Wolf.
The Mother Wolf, brought up on stage. And you know what? I kind of had this idea based on something that you were doing on Moon Mondays. And do you want to share that with us? You've been doing your own kind of spotlight in for Star Wolves.
Yeah, basically, we have such an amazing Genesis collection of those 100 wolves. I thought it'd be something pretty cool, just to be kind of highlighting, one a week, every kind of Moon Monday announcement, just getting the hype around that. Chad and NBL has just been helping out, getting the graphics and the bios together for each wolf. And just kind of posting around that and just getting that spotlight and getting some recognition on some of those really cool Genesis 1-for-1s.
Amazing. I actually just pinned your tweet up on the top there too, guys. So go show some love to Catfish's post there. Whose was today?
I think we had Ape Season up today. Number 32 was posted.
His wolf is so bad. Oh my god, one of the best.
Yeah. The collect. I mean, honestly, you can't go wrong with any of these wolves. I've just been, spitting out a random number generator. That's how I've been kind of getting these. No rhyme or reason to them, but we got 100 of them. We got 100 weeks of Genesis wolves to post. So
Yeah,
But,
too
looking
long,
forward to it.
2 years of work ahead of you, my friend. Yeah, I was actually,
Yeah.
I was actually going to ask you how you were choosing them, but a random number generator seems like the most fair. I love it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I figured that'd be the easiest. So people don't feel like, like, well, why are you not picking me? Like,
You
why
know
not me?
who did
Me,
that?
Quinn?
Be Gone Punks. The description, the song that's generated is just random words put together. Great. I love that.
Yeah, I've always wondered if people like look at those traits and feel any importance in them, but I don't think they hold much weight.
Well,
but I have always
no.
noticed.
And what happened on Rarity Tools was such a pain in the ass because it weighted number of words in some sort of rarity, and it kept screwing up like which ones were rare, and people kept buying like bottom 6,000 because they were in the top 100. And yeah, word count. People don't care about it. Anyway, back to you, R2 and Catfish.
Yeah, of course, we were just referring to the vegan punks, a niche favorite of ours. But Catfish, I wanted to bring you up here and just kind of talk about your experiences in crypto and NFTs, and then we'll get into Star Wars after. But when did you first learn about crypto? When did you first get into it? What was the kind of path for you to start buying and participating in NFTs?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, I heard about crypto for a while and was kind of interested in dabbling into the NFT space. I eventually took the plunge in December, so I mean, relatively new. It's been around for a bit, but I've been here long enough to, I think, get the the rundown how things kind of go and operate here. I basically just went for the head first approach. I said, like, I'll take an ETH to play money. I'll kind of just get involved with some projects and get a good feel for the space. So that's what I've just been doing for the last 6 months. And I naturally, being like a big gamer, I love putting a big shift on the sticks. So naturally, kind of, I think, gravitated towards the P2E space, which has been a lot of fun. And obviously, the Star Wars is kind of like the main project that I'm involved in there, and really excited to kind of see what direction that it goes.
Yeah, amazing. So the shift into P2E was like almost direct for you. What other games have you played in terms of like blockchain and Web3 gaming?
Blockchain, Web3 stuff, I haven't been involved in too much. I've just been doing a bit of research. I know we have some Genesis guys that are involved in Ether Orcs, and some of those ones that have been around and have been a bit more established in the space. So, I mean, I just kind of poke around here and there and listen and just kind of get some tips from some of the guys that have been around in Web3 for a while. Just trying to learn and kind of adapt that way.
Yeah, honestly, that's one of the best parts about being a part of these communities. Whether it's Star Wars or there's tons and tons of other great ones out there too. Is just this bond is formed around the love of a project or the love of an idea, and people in this space are so incredibly helpful, so incredibly knowledgeable about these things, and they're more than willing to share it too. So I'm glad that you've had that experience as well, and I hope that Star Wars has been a really great experience in terms of that. I know for me it was getting into Alpha Mint, and then honestly just talking to FMC every single day and learning from him and hearing his thought process, because he's such a great mind in this space.
Yeah, no, it's obviously FMC is running. He does the morning squeeze with the lemons there, so it's always a nice thing to tune in, have that fresh cup of Joe and listen to them gab for a couple hours, and it's just super informative. Just kind of get a bit of a rundown and a pulse on the space and what's happening, what kind of direction he thinks things are going, and where he feels the market's headed and why. It's just such a good spot to learn.
I appreciate that, and I think something you said was really smart too, and it's something I think people out there should be thinking, because it's like, everyone's down bad right now. All the cheeky people are like, you should buy the dip, and everyone's like, with what, right? Like, I have, what can I do? I don't have anything to buy. They're like, blah 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 blah. Well, when we say builders are building, it's true, and they need help. And this is the best time. If there are projects that you care about out there that you've identified as communities you want to be a part of, this is when the chaff is gone. This is when the froth gets blown off the cappuccino and you're left with the actual drink. All right. And what's there is the real community. And just like we do at Star Wolves with our latest hire, we're always going to hire within the community first if we can. And I think if there's a project you love and you want it to mod, or you want it to contribute art, or you want to learn Solidity or anything like that, now is the time. Project founders and projects want and need help. And in Web3, everybody is very willing to learn and share. And without getting like corny and shit, it is what makes the community, it is what makes Web3 great. It's not about the contrived idea of community. It's what utility you can leverage with a hive mind, smart, motivated people who care about something weird and niche.
That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, I think in terms of Star Wolves and kind of Prime community, when it was at its peak was kind of the build up to that Genesis and obviously kind of into launch of Gen 2. But like I would love to see the community buy-in and everything back to where it was. I get projects go through these different arcs of activity, I guess, throughout the Discord. People kind of jump around here and there, but I would love to see kind of us rebuild. I think we've had a lot of good people kind of come into the project since then that have really been pushing some things, and I'd love to see that continue to grow and get back to to where we were at that point.
Yeah, and they will. It's this. You go around to most Discords around the industry right now, and it's tumbleweeds. It's ghost tech because this is what happens. People. It's all fun and parties when everything is number go up, and then when you get these again, it shows you who was really sticking around. And while you don't have the daily type of activity that you used to, it's really about building foundation. I mean, I remember this in September, October, and November of last year before we got into December and Nike bought Artifact and the crazy bull run started again. It was the same, just that PFPs were a bubble. They're never coming back. They're going to zero. Cats from 12 to 3, mutants from 9 to 3. Everything was just, it was, everyone believed it was dead and it wasn't coming back. And people built. There were a lot of great projects we were following and tracking during that time that were building and had to delay and didn't want to launch into a certain thing. And then they went into the greatest bull run ever. So it's very cyclical. NFTs are like that. And people stick around because there is something profound and special about what's being built here. And I guarantee you'll see that activity come back. It's a very good time to get serious work done. That's what's going to happen.
Man, if I had $1 for every time I heard crypto dead in the last 5 years, I'd have at least a couple extra ETH in my wallet right now. But yeah, again, free markets does it so well. But it's it's not going anywhere. These are cycles that we go through. Some are a little bit more rocky than others. Some last a little bit longer. Some are short lived. But in this world, all it can take is one big news announcement to really set things off. As you mentioned, Artifact being bought by Nike just sent the market into an absolute frenzy. And we're just one big announcement away from something like that happens. But in the meantime, there's what else is there to do? You build, you build, and if you're not part of a project, you can research, you can go into all of these other discords of projects you've been holding and see what they've been up to, or projects you think about jumping into and seeing if they're still active, seeing if they're still building, making announcements, engaging with the community. And those are all great signs because you can backtrack all the way to April, March, February of last year before NFTs really caught fire. And they weathered the storm just by, again, continuing to cultivate that community, continuing to be active, engaging, and of course, continuing to build the project that they have. I always say this, and people probably just roll their eyes at this point, but the Forgotten Runes Wizards Call is one that I have never owned myself, but you can watch their their price history, or even just their activity over the course of the last 13, 14 months. And they've just been relentless in their process, and it's paid off in spades for them and for everybody that's believed in them as well. So that's kind of the time that we're in right now. On that note, free market. I see about 22 retweets on this giveaway post that we're doing for a laser eyes wolf, and I see at least 35 people in here that are eligible to win.
Do you want me to check who retweeted and just start rugging people who didn't? Is that what you're asking me to?
Yeah, no,
No,
get 'em
I'm
outta
just
here,
we're
man.
kidding. We're kidding. Just get up there and retweet it. You know, look at this laser-eyed mauve, might I add, wolf. He wants to end up in your wallet, and he's only going to end up there if you retweet it. So retweet it, share the space, get that wolf into your wallet. He's looking fabulous, and we are going to give that away here in a few minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. On that note, I just wanted to let everybody know that if you're just jumping into this space and you like what you heard and you wish you had tuned in a bit earlier, this whole thing has been recorded. As I mentioned in the past, we are recording these spaces in our our community sessions, and we're going to be giving them a little bit of a visual treatment and throwing them up on our YouTube channel just so people can kind of backtrack and go have something to reference or go something to go and check in on. Because a lot of times with spaces, we totally understand. You just log on to Twitter, you see something interesting going on, and you jump in, but you missed most of the conversation. Those will definitely all be up there for you to listen to and to check through. Freeberry, is there anything else that you want to talk about on this fine Monday?
No, I mean, I just, since the market is really the subject that is on everybody's mind, and the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq have been driving action. All right, and everybody was watching very closely into the close there what happened, and there were no bids in the Nasdaq. I mean, if you just watch ETH, it is completely correlated to what the NQ is, the symbol /NQ, or what the Nasdaq is doing right now. And it's largely a factor of bonds. Bonds have been up so much this year. That is obviously a sign of inflation. The Fed, it's forcing the Fed to raise rates and do quantitative tightening, which means they're buying less assets. Bonds have been basically down in a straight line for months. They were up 1% today. Now, that could just have been a relief bounce. I know that there was some economic data that may have caused that. It could be the beginning of something. It may not. We are much closer to a bottom than anything else. And we are at best on the S&P maybe 5% away, but we didn't close. We didn't get that capitulation today. So we may still have a few more days of pain, but there is really, really no reason to panic. Do not pay attention to anybody saying everything is going to zero. I think that it can become very emotional and it messes with your head, and there is no reason to let that mess with your conviction. The real gains are made by holding long-term. People hate hearing that because it's a very short-term mindset in a short-term market. But I promise the lion's share of gains are made by holding long-term. The daily fluctuations don't matter. R2, I'm going to load the tweet into the Twitter picker right now. I'm going to check.
Last chance. Yep.
Last chance. If you have not retweeted, go do it now. It is getting loaded. We are picking one winner. You must be in the room. If you are not, I will quickly redraw. And there it is. Time's up. I am going to click it, get the draw going. Here we go. And the winner, my God, amazing. 0x Frosty. He was up here before. Beautiful. My man, contributing such a wonderful point when we were talking about loot boxes. Well, guess what? That laser-eyed wolf is yours. My friend, you don't need to request. I see you down there, but if you do want to come up, you may. Another fabulous Moon Monday in the books. R2.
Yeah, man. Always look forward to Mondays here. Getting the big announcements out of the way, recapping some of the major. I almost said major minor announcements. That's awkward. But some of the bigger minor announcements that we had throughout the week as well. And it's so great to just come up and talk to some of the other members of the community as well. Catfish, we really appreciate you coming up here, sharing some of your experiences and your insight and all of that great stuff. We really appreciate the stuff that you do in Star Wolves, and of course putting together those Genesis Wolf spotlights with the lore in the tweets. I always look forward to those on Mondays now as well. So we really appreciate that. I did see Zero X Frosty request to come up on stage, so I'm going to give you the last word before we wrap this up.
Hey guys, thank you so much for having me up earlier, and the pick, that's awesome. I appreciate it so much. I'm so excited. I was actually just on OpenSea looking to buy my 5th wolf, and now that I've won this, I'm definitely going to buy it, so I have 2 full squads going. But thank you so much.
My man, I love it. Thank you, bud. Really happy. Obviously, just DM R2 your address, and he will get that right over to you. Everybody, Catfish, New Notes, everyone who came up on stage and contributed, thank you. Again, another beautiful Moon Monday here. We will see you this Thursday for Terrestrial Thursdays, a discussion about play and own gaming with a special guest who I confirmed today, none other than Dots from Kaiju Kings, one of the great minds in NFTs and play and own gaming. So we are super pumped for that conversation. We will see you then, R2. Thank you for a wonderful day.
Thank you, FMC. Always a pleasure being up here. And again, shout out, honestly, to the Star Wolves community, because you guys are fucking awesome. We will be in the Discord hanging out. As always, come say hi to us. We love hearing from you.